And we're back on the show. Thanks for being with me today. I want to talk about a column I wrote this week, and I hope you'll take the time to read it because it's a very important issue that normally doesn't touch many of us, but when it does, it can cause severe damage, hardship, great deal of pain, and can be so unfair to the average American citizen. There's a huge debate going on in this country today about the whole criminal justice system. Should we turn more prisoners loose? Often that debate, by the way, is put in the text of saving money. Well, we don't want to save money and then turn criminals on the street. And so eating that whole thing apart is something that legislatures across the country, as well as Congress itself, is looking at right now. But a serious problem that often is overlooked is what happens when prosecutors go rogue, when prosecutors don't do their job, that they either profile individuals or they bring false charges against someone, even in a made-up way. Now, let me start from the very beginning. I was in public life for 28 years. I know many fine prosecutors that take their job very seriously. They spend a massive amount of time in training and in preparing themselves and their staffs to bring fair prosecution in the criminal justice system. They want to do the right thing. And that's the majority, by far, of prosecutors in this country. But we've got rogue prosecutors who don't look at it that way, and quite frankly have caused severe damage to the system and to many individuals. I wrote about one such individual this week, a fellow named John Thompson. If you don't live down in Louisiana, you've probably not heard about John Thompson. Many people down here haven't heard about him. He's a throwaway. He's a guy that went to Angola, our state penitentiary, for 18 years because supposedly he murdered someone. This whole case began to unravel. Thompson in prison never stopped saying he was innocent. He always felt that he got a bad rap. He did not commit the crime. He had alibis. None of this was looked at. And so he goes on death row, 14 years on death row, 4 more years in the prison system, 18 years of his life. Thompson all along has said that the prosecutor, there was blood out there or other things to show he was innocent. But prosecutor said, oh, no, this is down in New Orleans where this prosecution took place. Finally, on his deathbed, an assistant prosecutor confesses they did know all along that there was evidence showing Thompson was innocent and kept from him and from his attorneys. On his deathbed, he gives this confession to another assistant prosecutor who then waits 5 years more before he reveals this information. Well, it's revealed. A hard-nosed district attorney says he's going to retry Thompson when the federal court threw out the conviction. And in about 25 minutes, the jury found him innocent because the evidence was so overwhelming he didn't commit the crime. One of the worst examples of prosecutor misconduct I've ever seen. We don't have a system of checks and balances. The good prosecutors try to do their job and want to be protected from those who don't do their job, who are involved in this prosecutorial misconduct. But we don't have any penalties. And in the Thompson case, he goes ahead and sues the city of New Orleans, gets a judgment for $14 million. Now, some people say, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Would you take $14 million and spend 18 years of your life in bars, 14 years on death row? I sure wouldn't. I wouldn't take any amount of money for something along those lines. So in any event, we have no way to sanction prosecutors. The Bar Association has not done their job. They rarely investigate rogue prosecutors who directly violate the law. The court system says, well, that's just the price you have to pay. Some honorable, decent people will go get caught in the system, and but you'll get the bad guys most of the time. The courts have not been at all active in coming down and bringing about recourse for something like this. So there's a blip in our system. There are some good police officers, there's some first-rate prosecutors, but when those slip through the crack, and some do, we don't have a check and balance system in this country to deal with that. And the Thompson case is just one of the most egregious examples that I've ever seen of that. Check my column out and see what you think, and I'll talk to you again next week. Thanks for spending some time with me this week.